What's up, YouTube? This is William from W&J Wrestling, and this is Predict a Match for Night of Champions. I'm actually really looking forward to this pay-per-view. Night of Champions is one of my favorite pay-per-views, like Money in the Bank. I just enjoy just the concept of all the titles being defended on this night. I think it's really cool. And, I think that should be vast majority of WWE pay-per-views. That a lot of the titles should be on the line, if not all of them. But sad to say, a lot of the secondary titles, like US or IC, just don't see as much relevance. Um, but, that's why I like Night of Champions so much. Because it is good to see every title on the line. It's kind of similar to SummerSlam, because I believe all the titles ended up being on the line. The US was on the pre-show. I don't know if the Divas was, but who really cares about Divas? Anywho, let's go ahead and move on to the first match, which is the pre-show match, which is going to be a battle royal for to see who becomes the number one contender for the United States Championship. As you can see, these are some of my picks for who I think may win it. They're no particular order, except the top half are the people I have more faith in, other than the bottom half. Jack Swagger could make his return as a face and win the Battle Royal to go on the feud with Antonio Cesaro. That'd be pretty cool. Alex Riley is amazingly popular. Um, like, if you ever watch Superstars, the crowd is just ecstatic for him. And so I just imagine, the crowd could go wild if he ended up winning this. And it could potentially be a great feud. Zack Ryder, always a good contender for the U.S. title, which would be good to see. I'm a Ryder fan. I would love to see him versus Cesaro. Ryback, this would be a great push for Ryback. And this could also bring back, a lot of, I guess, prestige to the U.S. title with Ryback holding it. Because him just keep going with that undefeated streak, he could, go against more guys and just make that belt look even better. Um, then there's also the small possibility, which God forbid, that Santino wins. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Same for Brodus Clay. That would just be awful. And then Tyson Kidd as well. Tyson Kidd's a very talented wrestler, but I doubt they're going to give him a title. Just because, I don't know, WWE just doesn't seem to like to do anything with Tyson Kidd. I mean, they had Hart Dynasty, and I think their biggest mistake was breaking them up because it led to nowhere. They should have just stayed as a really, because they were a good tag team together. And I think they just screwed up on that part. But yeah. So the top four people are, if Swagger comes back, but if he doesn't, then at least the other three would be my main picks to win that battle royal. I'd like to hope so that happens, and hope that not a joke character like Santino or Brodus Clay wins it, because that'd just be annoying. And if they did, I would just want Cesaro to retain. Then there would be Cesaro versus the winner of the Battle Royal. And this is just all going to come down to who wins the Battle Royal. Like I said, if it's a comedic character like Santino or Brodus, Cesaro will just clearly retain. If it's one of the more serious competitors, this could end up being a great match. I'll say it's hard to call whether Cesaro will retain or not, because I just don't know who's going to win. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And you know what? The people I picked were based mostly because they were faces, excluding Swagger. That's just an assumption, a possibility he could become a face. But if a heel could win, maybe it could be a face turn for them. I don't really know, or they could just end up doing heel versus heel. So we'll see where WWE decides to go with this. Next up is the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm actually happy about this. Not that I'm happy that Miz has like a 25% chance. I'm sorry, a 75% chance of losing the belt. But just because this match right here just makes the IC title look so relevant. Just because, Miz is, an amazing wrestler. I'm sorry, I went a little far with that one. To me, he's amazing, but he is, he's an excellent wrestler. His character is great. He's an excellent heel. Same for Cody, and Cody is an excellent wrestler. I'm not saying that Miz is bad. Miz is really good in the ring. Cody's a great wrestler. Sin Cara, I don't really care for him as much, but he's very popular with the fans. So it just brings more, people caring about the match. Same for Rey Mysterio. I'm not crazy about Rey Mysterio. He's a lot better than Sin Cara. Doesn't botch nearly as much, but this just makes the IC title look really good. It just makes it seem really relevant, that, four very popular stars in WWE right now are feuding over a smaller belt. and I'm just happy to see this. I would like to think that either Miz or Cody is going to come out of this match with the belt. Um, and if Cody were to take it, I could possibly see Miz doing a face turn and him and Cody feuding for the belt. But we'll see where it goes. So yeah, this will be a good match. Um, Next up, this isn't really a relevant match, but I don't know if anyone knew, Caitlyn was never supposed to win the Battle Royal. When she went to clothesline, what's her name? Eve. Eve was supposed to land on the side of the ring on the apron, but she ended up slipping and falling, and so Caitlyn ended up becoming number one contender. There was rumors that they might change it, but I guess they decided to just go forward with it, and then just say they were just like, screw it, Hell in a Cell, we'll give the belt to Eve. So, I mean, it's not really possible, I guess, to call this match because we really don't know what WWE is going to do. They could give it to Caitlyn, but I mean, regardless of who wins it, they're just going to put it on Eve come next pay per view. Odds are Layla's just going to retain. There's a small possibility Caitlyn's going to win it, but I highly doubt it. So I'm just going to stick to Layla retaining. Next up is R-Truth and Kofi Kingston versus Kane and Daniel Bryan, aka Team Friendship. I'd like to believe that they're going to give the belts to Kane and Daniel Bryan, just because they're not doing anything on Truth and Kofi. I was disappointed when they replaced primetime players, but you know what? Putting the belts on Kane and Bryan will be good. It's going to make the tag belts look good. They're both, incredibly popular. Always have been. Not saying that Truth and Kofi aren't, but Truth and Kofi are better as individual wrestlers. I don't care for them as a tag team because even their tag team work just doesn't seem. It just seems like individual work. And just judging from the match with Kane and Bryan, I could just see this being so hysterical. These two as a tag team. But serious at the same time because both of them are excellent wrestlers, but at the same time they can be comedic characters. Like Kane, when he chokeslammed Bryan onto Darren Young to get the pin and win, that was funny. This could be like back and forth. It's like it's not just Team Friendship versus the other tag team. It's them going against each other at the same time, yet somehow managing to retain the titles. That would make for like excellent tag team, stories, which would just be great to see in the future. So I definitely would like to see Team Friendship walk out with the belts. Next up, this is a match that has no belt on the line. It is Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler. Their feud has escalated the past couple weeks on Raw and SmackDown. I think Randy got the first win, and Ziggler got the roll up for another win. So now they just put them in a match together. I'd like to think Ziggler is going to win the match somehow. It'll do really nothing if Orton wins, but I mean, WWE, they just like to bury guys, so we'll see what happens. It'll be good if Ziggler wins, and I think at the same time, this match is a distraction to kind of make us think that, okay, Ziggler's in the match tonight. He's not going to cash in Money in the Bank. Because I actually do think Ziggler might cash in his Money in the Bank, and I'll explain that when I get to the heavyweight match, which I believe that's the next slide. But yeah, this should be a great match. I'm not going to say it's going to be a show stealer, but it should be a pretty good match. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I do think Ziggler will win. He may do it fairly. He may do it dirty. We'll see what happens. So moving on. Next up is the World Heavyweight Championship match. Okay. As we all know, Sheamus' bro kick has been banned for this match. So this is supposed to try and make it a little more interesting, which is really not. This feud has been tired and played out for so long. But anywho, I see two scenarios happening. One, Sheamus retaining clean. Just, I guess getting the Texas Cloverleaf or that, was the Celtic Cross move he does over on Del Rio. Or somehow Del Rio cheating, using some kind of underhanded way to get the victory over Sheamus, whether it's from Ricardo or Tunga or whether he just cheat. No matter what, if that were to be the case, that Del Rio were to cheat and walk away with the belt, I see Sheamus just going off like he does and giving Del Rio a bro kick. In the process, Dolph Ziggler will come down to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. I see this as a very likely scenario and very possible to happen. So I'm really banking on the on Dolph Ziggler cashing in on Del Rio after receiving a bro kick from cheating to win the belt from Sheamus. So yeah, that could make for a very interesting story because now Sheamus and Del Rio have rematches, and yeah, we'll see how that happens. So yeah, I'm really banking on that happening. Last up is CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. This is really hard to call for two reasons. One, the match itself is just unpredictable because it's Punk and Cena. It's just completely unpredictable as to what's going to happen. And two, this match is in Cena's hometown, so that adds a lot of factors into it. This could be Cena winning in front of his hometown crowd, or it could be Cena losing to make Punk look really good, and just kind of downing Cena in his hometown. So it's going to be hard to call. It really depends on what W's plans are for the future. Whether they're wanting Punk to go up against Rock at Royal Rumble, they want him to retain all the way, or is a possibility that Cena could win and then Punk could just win it back later. This is just the hardest match to call, and I really don't know for sure. But I'm a guess. I really want to guess that Punk will retain. That's just my thought, because I really think it's just going to hurt his heel push if Cena were to win the belt from him. So I would like to think Punk will retain the belt, and rumors are as well that by Night of Champions, they were supposed to reveal the new WWE belt. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, because the rumor was it was supposed to happen sometime between SummerSlam and Night of Champions. So maybe, Punk might retain and then unveil the new belt, or maybe the night after on Raw, or not. WWE could just be waiting, or I don't know what their plans are. But yeah, like I said, this is hard. This is a very hard match to call, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that Punk will retain. So yeah, this has been all. Look out for the pay-per-view review. That'll be up probably the next day or the day after. So yeah, this has been the Predict Match. Thank you for watching, YouTube.